There is a version of this story where nothing happens, where an 18-year-old boy wakes up on an ordinary Wednesday, eats breakfast across from his mother, and goes about a life so unremarkable that no one would ever think to write it down. That version exists in thousands of homes across this country every single day. But on the 26th of March, 2014, in a modest apartment in Corpus Christi, Texas, that version ended. And what replaced it was a confession so calm, so detailed, and so devoid of remorse that the detectives who heard it would carry it with them for years afterward. This is not a story about a monster who announced himself. It is a story about a young man who, by every outward account, gave no warning at all, until the morning he walked to a stranger's door and asked them to call the police, because he had just killed his mother. Welcome back to Truth Finder Afees, the place where we don't just tell you what happened, we sit with the why. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing, because every week we take on a new case that asks harder questions than the headlines ever did. And before we go further, I'd love to know, where are you watching from tonight? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Kimberly Hill was 50 years old, and by every account available to us, she had built her life around care for others. She worked in hospice care, spending her days sitting with the dying, offering comfort in rooms that most people can't bring themselves to enter. Friends and neighbors describe her as warm, dependable, the kind of mother who showed up. She shared her apartment on Costres Road with her 2 children, her daughter and her son, Kevin. Kevin Jazrell Davis was 18, quiet, introverted, the kind of young man who blended into a room rather than commanded it. He wasn't known for violence. He wasn't known for cruelty. If you had asked the neighbors, the classmates, even extended family, to predict which person in that household might one day make national headlines for an act of horrifying brutality, almost none of them would have pointed to Kevin. That's the detail worth sitting with before we go any further. Because so many of the true crime stories we tell involve warning signs, a history of violence, a documented obsession, a pattern that, in hindsight, looks obvious. This one doesn't offer us that comfort. What Kevin Davis carried inside him was, by his own later admission, present for years, but it was invisible to the people who loved him most. Think about what that means for a moment. We tend to trust our ability to read the people closest to us, to believe that if something were truly wrong, we would sense it. A shift in tone, a withdrawal, some crack in the surface. Kimberly Hill lived under the same roof as her son for 18 years. She fed him, worried about him, tried to guide him into adulthood the way any parent does. And nothing in that daily closeness gave her access to what was happening beneath it. This isn't a story about parental failure. It's a story about the limits of what closeness can actually reveal. We like to believe love comes with a kind of built-in radar, that caring about someone enough means we'll see trouble coming. Kimberly Hill's case suggests otherwise, and that's a harder truth to sit with than any villain origin story would be. On the morning in question, Kevin told his mother something no parent is prepared to hear. He said he was bored with life, frustrated, that he didn't like people, and that he wanted to die. What Kimberly said next was not cruelty, it was helplessness. She told her son that she couldn't stop him if that was truly what he wanted. It was, by every indication, an honest and human response to an impossible question. A mother, caught completely off guard, trying to find words for something no one teaches you how to answer. Kevin later told investigators that her words were the moment something shifted. Not toward his own death, but toward hers. As Kimberly sat on the couch, her son came up behind her. He wrapped a cord, pulled from a video game controller, around her neck. She began to fight back. She screamed, and in that moment, whatever plan Kevin had walked into the room with fell apart. He panicked. He let go of the cord, and he went looking for something else. He found a hammer. What followed was an act of violence so sustained. Investigators say he struck her roughly 20 times, that by the time it ended, there was no question of intervention, no possibility of a different outcome. Kimberly Hill was gone, but Kevin wasn't finished. This is the part of the story that made national headlines, and it's the part we'll handle with restraint rather than spectacle. Because the goal here isn't shock, it's understanding. After the killing, Kevin dragged his mother's body into her bedroom. He retrieved a kitchen knife, and in an act he would later describe to detectives in unsettlingly clinical terms, he used it, and his own hands on her wound, telling investigators he wanted to be certain she was dead. He then sexually assaulted her body. When it was over, he left the apartment. He wrote notes and left them behind. Fragments that read less like a confession and more like a taunt, addressed to whoever would find them. Then he took a bicycle and rode through the night, apparently intending to put distance between himself and what he'd done. But somewhere in those dark hours, something changed again. Kevin didn't run. He turned back. The next morning, he walked up to a stranger's home in Corpus Christi and asked the occupants to call 911, not to report an emergency in progress, but to report a murder that was already over. His own.
Like saying earlier, you've talked to some people, you want to get some stuff off your chest. We're here to listen to you.
Why are you here? What happened?
Tell us what happened.
Well, has anybody gone to the house yet? Do you really?
We know what happened.
We have, but we want to hear it from you.
Or we have an idea. You're the only one that can tell us. Start at the beginning, man. What caused all this?
Well, the very beginning, I asked my mother for permission to die, or rather kind of commit suicide, the sort of beating around the bush sort of thing. Because, well, that doesn't really matter why I wanted to kill myself.
Sure it does. Tell us.
I'm bored with life. I don't like life. I don't like people. I don't like living it, basically. There's really anything depressing about it. It just is what it is. And so I wrote the note. I did.
When did you write the note?
Around 6-ish, 7-ish.
Today or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Okay.
That's in the afternoon or morning?
Afternoon.
Okay.
And then what happened?
And then
She get upset with you?
No, actually. I mulled it over. And then on a whim, actually, I turned it over, wrote a plan to kill both my mother and my sister, quite frankly, because that's always been a thing of mine. I'm a bit of a pervert.
Is it like a fantasy thing?
It is, actually. So, that didn't act. The best laid plans never work out, apparently, or at least the one scribbled on a piece of paper, because she had decided she was sick of this stuff, and she was going to go send me to live with my sister again. And so I kind of leapt off in a fury and just did it right then and there.
Okay. You did what?
Well, I tried to strangle her with a cord, a ripped cord from a video game console controller. That didn't work, huh?
Where was this at your father's finger?
She was sitting on the couch watching TV.
Okay.
That didn't work out too well. She started screaming, and so I went to her room, opened a drawer at the very bottom to the right. I pulled out a hammer. I went back in the living room, and, well, you kind of get the gist from there. And she was out pretty quickly. Kind of tried to play dead at first, but then I finished it.
So you hit her with a hammer when she was sitting in the sofa in the living room?
No, first I tried to strangle her, and that didn't work. Right. She grabbed the cord, so I raced back into her room, grabbed the hammer, came back out, and then did it.
Okay. How many times did you hit with a hammer in the living room?
At least 20, but then she was still alive. I dragged her into the room, as you probably clearly saw, and then I kind of wormed my hands into her brains to kind of just cut it. She was still snoring.
Okay. So she was still alive?
She was still alive.
And you went in there and you kind of grabbed those brains?
Yeah, and finished it.
Alright. Did you use a knife on her?
Actually, I was going to, but no, I didn't get to do that.
Did you, I guess you never got to stab her with a knife?
No.
It was all with a hammer?
It was all with a hammer in my hand.
And where did you hit her with a hammer?
The head.
All in the head area?
All in the head, I believe. I may have gotten her hand because she was covering herself.
Okay.
Is this in the front or the back of the head?
Top, back, mainly. No, actually the entrance wound is around yonder somewhere here.
Okay.
And then, so when you dragged her to the living room, to the bedroom, you kept on hitting her there?
Yeah, I kind of went.
That's where that's when you reached in and grabbed the brain?
Yeah, I kicked at it a bit. Then I just, that was kind of silly, but then I just decided to reach in and kind of just do it.
Mm-hmm. And then what did you do after that?
Then I had sex with her corpse.
You did? Did you come inside her?
I did, actually.
Have you ever done that before, like have sex with her?
No, I haven't, actually.
This is just the first time?
Oh, yeah, I lost my virginity to a corpse.
Okay. Did you change in the bathroom? Did you?
I did. I took a bath before then. My penis really, well, that's a little personal, but yeah, I needed to clean it off, and so, and then I changed, yeah.
Okay. How about your sister? What's your sister's name?
Desiree Hill.
Is she okay?
She is okay, yeah.
Okay.
Where does she live?
At an apartment actually very near here. That big kind of Hispanic thing, like Spanish-looking building.
Mm-hmm.
It's an old apartment complex with a code.
Was it a fantasy of yours to kill her as well?
It was.
Did you write down that on your note?
Oh, I did, actually, but I decided against it because, well, I'd had my fill of killing. I didn't seem a little much.
Mm-hmm.
A little too excessive, yeah.
So after you went in and you killed her, and you made sure that she was dead by grabbing her brain, moving it around, then you took her clothes off, or what? Or was she already unclothed?
I actually had to drag her by her clothes to get her in there. It was very laborious, actually.
Mm-hmm. So she's a pretty big woman, she's heavy.
Yeah.
Hey, is she your natural mother? Biological mother?
Yeah, actually she is my natural mother.
Mm-hmm.
I take after my father.
Okay.
Hey, what kind of thrill did you get by having sex with her?
I'd always loved my mother, I guess in the wrong sort of way, but a kind of love, I guess. Maybe some rage.
Okay.
Maybe just a little.
Was it a Freudian style?
Freudian? I kind of get where you're coming from. Sure, why not? Yeah.
All right. Have you killed anybody else before?
I have not.
You just fantasized about it?
I just fancy, yeah.
Okay.
What got you to this point? Tell us about what got you to this point. Did you hate life? You wanted to commit suicide? Oh, what did you say about when you told her you wanted in a roundabout way to commit suicide? She said no. She said yes. What did she say to you?
She said, basically, I'm a grown man, and what I do, she can't really stop me. She was distraught over it, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, she said she'd cope with it. If you kill him, that's kind of why she wanted me to go away. Why she called my sister to come pick me up, and that's kind of why I just left.
So at that point, you got pissed?
Not necessarily. I just knew it was time to act now or never.
How long have you had these thoughts in your brain?
It's around my preteens, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you ever seek any kind of medical attention, psychological? Do you feel that you can cope with that?
Nope, I never really seeked help, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I just accepted it as a part of me. I wasn't really ashamed of it.
Mm-hmm.
It just was what it was.
Let's talk about the notes that you wrote. How many notes did you write?
3.
3. There was one in the living room.
Yeah.
That one was addressed to who?
Desiree, my sister, because I knew she's a good girl, but rather sensitive. I knew she would lose her head if she kind of saw that.
Do you remember what the note said?
Keep your head. Hurry. She might still be alive, although I highly doubt it, in parentheses.
Mm-hmm.
Something along those lines, yeah. Sincerely.
But when you wrote the note, you knew your mom was already dead?
Oh, yeah, I knew it. You know,
so you're just messing with Desiree by writing that she might still be alive?
Yeah, my sick sense of humor.
Okay.
I was pretty well off my rocker by then.
And then there's a second note in your mom's bedroom. What did that one say? Do you remember?
Chase me.
Was that addressed to the police or to who?
I was in a very playful mood at the time.
Okay.
I just wanted to run. Just wanted to see how far I could get. But
yeah. So what? Your plan was to leave town, or what? According to one of the notes that you wrote.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, the Greyhound bus.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna try to get out of the state or anything really.
But I guess something else happened. You ended up at somebody's house.
No,
What
actually.
happened?
I told you my plan was foiled because she talked to me. She said my sister's going to come pick me up now, like in a few minutes. Go live with her, and that's when I said it's time to act, now or never.
I see.
I just went over to their house to use their phone, and then I was using their phone, so I thought I might as well tell them when they asked me questions. I mean, they had questions on using their phone.
Where was this at? Where did you end up at?
Ultimately, I ended up in the backwoods of a ditch.
Here in town or out of town?
Robstown.
In Robstown. How did you get over there?
In Corpus Christi, I biked halfway, and then I got to the train tracks, and then I ditched the bike in the thick woods, and then from the train tracks, I just walked.
To Robstown?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you came up to was it like the first house that you saw, or how did you go to this house to ask to use the phone?
Initially, my plan was just to run as far as I can, but then I ended up crying my eyes out in like the thick woods, like, what did I do? And I realized, you don't know what you lost till you've already lost it. And so I knew that my life wasn't going to go anywhere, not anymore. So I just kind of gave it up midway.
What brings you here, other than your life? You just give up on life now, and you need to tell somebody what happened, basically, right?
I guess, yeah.
Your inside you want to do one thing, but your inside tells you more, like your heart, right? You're talking out of your heart. You know? You feel sorry you did this to your mom?
In a way, yes, but I wouldn't take back what I did. It's strange, really. I did love her. In a way.
Is she being mean to me?
Oh, no, she's been the best mother.
Okay, so she is nothing that she did?
Oh, absolutely nothing, no.
If I was to ask you, what did she do to deserve this, what would you answer?
Absolutely nothing. I'm a cruel, disgusting person. Yeah, basically.
How did you come up with the idea to kill her and have sex with her?
How did I come up with it?
Yeah, was it?
It's been a developing idea. My brain.
But you haven't gotten ideas from games or videos, or you're not into some of those dark games?
Some things inspired me, but they did not necessarily plant the seed. You get me? They didn't plant the seed, but they did egg me on, rather, I guess.
Is that the books you've been reading?
Not necessarily. I watched them. I recently got into watching some foreign movies, creepy stuff, not necessarily mainstream horror, the kind of stuff that you keep away from.
Oh, okay. So are you into witchcraft? Anything like that?
No. Not right. I guess it sounds kind of strange.
I'm just interested because it's something unusual, and you're here telling us about it, and you appear to be a nice guy. You appear to be a good guy. You're not yelling and screaming at us.
You're very rational.
You're very rational. You appear to be a good guy. This is what I'm trying to figure out. That's all.
Well, despite how I ended her life, I'm kind of more fascinated by the more artistic ways of murder, a meticulous manner, the way they cut them open, just slice them to pieces. I mean, such care, such love.
Where did the hammer come from that you used?
From her drawer.
Okay.
Yes.
And then after you killed her, you just left it there, the hammer?
I did.
Yeah, because you saw a hammer there next to her body. That's the one you used?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And there was some blood in the knife, but you said you never used it? I guess just blood just from where you grabbed it around the...
Oh, that knife. Actually, I used that to stir her brains up a little, but then that didn't really work out, so I just kind of decided to delve on in.
Did you do that in the living room or the bedroom? Because we found that it wasn't in the bedroom.
I may have started out. So, yeah, actually, I used the knife in the living room, and then didn't I take it with me?
So her brains were already kind of coming out in the living room when you dragged her?
Yes, but she was still snoring like a baby, and so I just kind of dragged her.
Explain to her how you grabbed her so that you wouldn't leave such a mess in the carpet. Did you carry her from underneath the arms and just dragged her, or how did you drag her?
It was very sloppy, actually. I kind of just winged it. I dragged her from her shirt. I dragged her by her legs. I dragged her by any way I kind of fell. I mean,
okay.
I don't really exert physical labor, so I'm not a very strong person.
She's bigger than you are.
Yeah.
She's a little bigger than you.
How many siblings do you have? Is it just you and Desiree?
I do have a half brother, actually, but I haven't seen him in a long while.
Does he live here in town or no?
He doesn't.
Okay. How about Dad? Where's Dad? He's not in the picture. Your dad?
No, not really. He's an idiot. He's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an idea what he's at?
Probably somewhere in Fort Worth, maybe.
Mm-hmm. And you lived there with your mom at Windrush Apartments? What's apartment number there? 1707. You have your own bedroom there?
I do.
Okay. So the note where you wrote the plan that you were going to leave town and kill your mom, kill your sister, that was the one that we found there. We found it in one of the bedrooms. Not where your mom was, but the other one. That was your room?
Yeah, that was
two-bedroom apartment.
The big, blank, sloppy looking,
Okay. But your sister didn't live with you guys?
She did.
Okay.
There was a magic marker there on top of the little desk here in your room.
Magic marker?
Permanent marker.
Like a marker.
Permanent marker.
Okay, permanent marker, yes.
Is that the one you used? It was on a little folding table. Is that where you wrote your notes?
I think I just grabbed a piece of my old schoolwork and just kind of...
How do you do in schoolwork, man? Going back to school, how do you do in schoolwork?
Pretty mediocre. I never really could muster, but didn't even really care. I mean, I guess I excelled in English for all that was worth.
Okay. How about sports?
No, I don't like sports.
You don't like football? I know you're a little small for football, but...
Oh.
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
Ray High School.
Ray? And you were in 10th grade?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Did you ever tell anybody else what your plans were? That, what you wanted to do with your mom or your sister?
No, but over the years, there were hints. As a younger boy, I was a lot dumber, a lot more angsty, I said things, but I guess they basically brushed it off. I guess the hints were everywhere, but they're my family. Family looks past that kind of stuff, or they try to not look at it, I guess.
Let me ask you, at this point, what do you consider yourself? I'm going to use a dirty word, okay, but I don't mean to insult you, okay? Do you consider you mentally disturbed? Do you consider yourself crazy? What do you consider yourself, any of those? Or you think you're okay? You just got some bad thoughts?
I'm not mentally disturbed. I mean, I'm sane. I know exactly what I did. I know that it's wrong in the traditional sense of wrong.
It was just a fantasy you had, and you had to carry it out.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Now I feel vaguely, kind of like I'm done.
So,
you still feel like you're done with your mom. You still feel like you want to keep on killing? To keep on, with other fantasies? Or how do you feel?
I came here to pay for my crimes, so I guess I should continue with the truth. Truthfully.
Yes, definitely.
I would kill again.
How about us? You think you want to kill us?
Oh, no. Rather, men aren't my thing, actually.
Women?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I don't. I've never had a girlfriend.
I'll tell you what. Give me your fancy of killing a woman. What would your fancy killing would be? Your ace killing, what would that be?
This is a little peculiar. I'm on camera. Okay.
I'm not surprised at what I'm going to hear, but you tell me.
Maybe dressing up in a nice suit, sneaking into her house, disabling her boyfriend. I'd bring a pretty dress with me to dress her up in. I was always into strangling, but after that last blunder, I guess maybe something big and sharp would be more along my thing. Then I could, probably decapitate her, as I prefer my women dead. I would dress her up. I'd stitch her up. Kind of try to work the head back on, perhaps. And then I'd go to town, and it would be a night to remember. And then I'd kind of just burn everything and run for the hills.
You mentioned that you lost your virginity to a corpse.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? What happened?
Oh, well, just last night, my mother, yeah.
Okay, not somebody else. You're talking about your mom.
Yes.
Okay, so before that you had never had sex?
Well, I guess since I'm being quiet about it, I might as well tell you now. And it's on the note too, the PS part. We used to have a gray cat named Claire. Oh yeah, bestiality is a thing of mine too. Now you know. And so I strangled it, I drowned it, and then I cut it open, and you know the rest. Kind of get the rest.
You had sex with the cat, with the dead cat?
Yeah, ripped it open, stuck it in there. Yeah.
You ever had sex with a live person?
No. No.
So that your thing of having sex with a live person, that doesn't turn you on. It's the dead thing, dead person, dead animals. That's what turns you on.
I don't necessarily mind. I don't have standards or morals. Body's a body, and in the end, piece of meat. I guess it's harsh to say, but no, I don't necessarily mind.
How about the idea of hurting yourself? Do you have the same idea now?
Huh?
Do you have the same idea that you want to hurt yourself, commit suicide?
No, it's over for me. I'll face the music. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
There's not a happy ending for me, definitely.
Well, tell me, what do you think should happen to you? What do you think your punishment should be?
Whatever the judge, the people, the jury deems fit. I can rot, I can suffer for years, or I can be given the death penalty, whatever they think is for me.
What do you think you deserve? Killing your mom? Having sex with your mom?
I deserve to rot and suffer. I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, I want to give you some options here. Okay. 10 years probation, 20 years in the pen, 100 years in the pen. What do you prefer from those cities?
Name them again.
Probation, 10 years. 10 years in the pen, 50 years, or 100 years in the pen.
100.
The maximum. Right?
I suppose. I mean,
I admire your mind, man. You don't sit here and try to baby yourself to death.
Came here to face the music, I guess. Gotta.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, brother, man.
Anything else you want to add about what happened that's important that we should know?
Not really. I'm sure interested in other colorful details.
Have you ever heard your sister?
No, I haven't.
No.
Anybody else?
Nope.
You have never killed anybody else or anything else?
Oh, no. Yeah, that was my first.
You ever been on Blucher Street? You ever been on Blucher Street?
Is he referring like
Blucher Street?
Blucher Street.
You know where Blucher Park is?
I haven't.
It's a large area off of Karankawa, Tankawa.
It's down the street here in the uptown area. I had a woman that was killed back then. So.
Oh, no, not me.
Oh, okay.
This is the first time you're saying, right? That you killed somebody?
Yeah.
A person, not an animal?
Yes.
Do you want to know what's going to happen to you now?
Oh, sure.
Okay, very simple. You're going to be booked at the county. First, you take the city facility, you charge with murder. Then you will be transferred over to the county, where, of course, you'll go to the county jail. They'll set a bond for you and everything else, and if you can afford to get out of jail, I mean, so be it. And if you can't, sit there and chill to your trial. Okay? The trial, you can plead not guilty, and you can go to trial and let a jury decide if you're guilty or not, or you may be able to cut a deal with the district attorney for whatever time you want to cut a deal for. Okay? Spare the jury. You know, in a jury, of course, a jury of 12, you might have several women or several men. The thing to remember is all those people have had mothers in the past. And they may not be too proud of me.
Oh, of course. I don't expect people to think very highly of me after this.
Hey, but like I said, I admire you for your honesty. You were honest with us, and you didn't try to bullshit us. Okay? And you're like a man. You came out here and took it like a man.
So around what time was it that you did this to your mom yesterday?
Probably ended around 8-ish, 9-ish.
At nighttime? Night?
Yeah, night.
Okay. And then what time did you leave the apartment and ride off on your bike?
Maybe around 9ish, 10ish, late 9.
And then today is when you ended up at that house in Robstown?
Yeah.
Where would your bike be at?
Probably in the undergrowth around the train tracks, just a little east of that house. But it's really deep in. No, wait, you said my bike?
Yes.
Okay, I was talking about my other stuff. But my bike is. I was going nowhere at the time. I don't even remember the street I was on. I just kind of stuffed it in the undergrowth near the railroad.
Near the railroad in 44 or what?
No, it was kind of a residential area. I remember going down a steeper hill with my bike, and I just ditched it. Wasn't worth much, and I kind of rode it a little hard, of course.
Do you know how to drive?
I don't know how to drive.
Oh, is that why you didn't take your mom's car?
Exactly.
I think your mom's car is still parked there now.
Did anything happen in your mom's car?
Oh, nothing.
Okay. If we were to take you, would you go show us where the bike's at and what?
Oh.
Could you do that?
I don't remember the street name, but I could help, yeah.
I'm interested in recovering your bike.
What kind of bike is it? What does it look like?
It's rad, very dirty.
Is it like a 10-speed, like or a BMX type bike, or
6-speed?
6-speed.
Yeah.
And when you left their apartments, which way did you go?
I kind of zigzagged around like an idiot because I had no idea where I was going to go. And it was a little leisurely. Because, I mean, after you murder someone, after you cross that kind of line, you don't really think much about it.
Okay, so would you say you went down Highway 44 all the way down to Robstown?
I think I did pass over that past thing. I passed by a car dealership. I don't remember, quite frankly.
You mentioned the other things. When you mentioned bicycles, I thought you meant the other things. What other things are out there?
Oh, I'm just talking about my backpack and other things.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Which is way down, far the line, just a little east of the house I ended up at in Calallen. So it's Cal Allen and stuff.
By the railroad tracks?
Yeah, Corpus Christi bike, but it's Cal Allen stuff. Backpack and whatnot is really stuck underneath the undergrowth, yeah.
Okay. And we probably to recover that, hoping we can find it. Would it be all right for you to take it down there once we find the railroad?
Oh, you want me to? Yeah, I can show you.
Okay. I'll tell you what, let us get through with the rest of the people we have here. And then we'll hop in the car and we'll take it down there and we'll try to recover your backpack and your bike and go from there. Okay. Is there anything in your backpack full of blood or anything else that needs to worry about?
I don't believe so, just some supplies I kind of just threw in there.
Yeah, you said you took a shower at the house and everything, right?
Oh, I did, yeah.
So you were covered in blood?
I was covered in blood, my glasses, everything. It was a mess.
Okay, but now we're going to put you in another room where we're going to shut it down, and then we'll go from there. Would you care for more water or anything? It's up to you, man. I got it in the refrigerator if you want it.
I think I'm fine. I'll just finish this.
Okay. Thanks. You're a man. You came across like a man. I mean, not like somebody else. You came across like a. You did what you did, and you came and said it. I admire a man like that. I work this kind of stuff all the time, and you get a lot of time, but a lot of time people all of a sudden did something, and all they want to do is move out of it. You want to take responsibility. You're a different person.
My life's taken a different turn. Time to change, I guess. I don't know.
Why don't you come over here? Sit with me and...
You're handcuffed, right?
Yeah.
We need to find your sister, just to make sure that she's okay. You said you didn't hurt her, right?
I did not.
We're trying to call her on the phone. We can get her. Does she go to school?
No, she doesn't go to school currently.
Oh, okay, because we thought maybe she's at college or something. Does she work?
She works at Mesquite Bar and Grill, I believe.
That's the one in Saratoga?
I would not know, but probably.
And her name is Desiree.
Desiree Hill. Yeah.
How old is she?
24.
You know her phone number?
I'm sorry, I don't know if I have it now.
Okay, if I was to give you some numbers, would you tell me if it's right or not?
Oh, you have numbers?
I don't know if I have numbers or not, but I got to look. 459-7215. Does that sound right?
Well, where are you getting these numbers from? It kind of sounds familiar.
Oh, I'm getting the number from the house.
I guess you could try. It sounds vaguely familiar.
Does it have a 361 area code?
It does. Yeah, it has
361.
361.
Well, whose area code is 443? 443, whose area code is that?
I wouldn't know. It kind of rings a bell, maybe something on my mother's contacts, but I wouldn't know.
Okay. So let me go get a key for this stuff.
Okay.
Let me get a key for this stuff.
Okay.
Is this the number you got?
The number you have?
Yeah.
Does that sound familiar, that number that you detected?
549 times. Does it have a 361?
No, this one has the area code of 443, I think.
Yeah, it may be under her dad's name.
443 is the area code. 459.
Let me call it again.
Does she have a local number? Last time you talked to her on the phone, when was it?
Well, I have a list of contacts, so I never bother to remember numbers by memory.
Whose phone is in the floor? Is it yours?
Is it people?
A phone in the floor in the bedroom?
Oh, that should be my bedroom.
No, hers.
I believe I left her phone in the living room. Was it pink?
Okay.
Okay, then that is definitely hers, wherever it is.
Okay.
There you go, I thought it was familiar.
Desiree, it's Sergeant Garcia, Corpus Christi PD. Please call me at this number that I'm calling you on and talk to you to that. I need to talk to you.
Sorry.
Where could she be at now, Bobby?
Probably sleeping. Since last I checked, she works late. And remember that apartment I told you that's nearby here? Sort of Spanish set, I forgot the name of it. You could see it yourself.
When police arrived, they took Kevin into custody without incident. What followed in an interrogation room was a confession that investigators would later describe as one of the most disturbing they'd ever sat through, not because of its content alone, but because of its delivery. Kevin Davis did not cry. He did not minimize. He described the killing of his mother in careful, sequential detail, occasionally smiling, at one point remarking that the encounter with her body had been his first sexual experience. He told detectives he had, for years, harbored violent fantasies, thoughts he had never voiced to anyone, never acted on until that morning. He also admitted something that chilled the investigators further, that he had considered killing his sister too, and had waited, briefly, for her to come home before deciding against it. This is the moment where a story like this usually asks you to look for the villain. But what makes this case so difficult to sit with is that the person describing all of this on tape was someone who by every external measure had lived an unremarkable 18 years. No documented history of violence. No pattern anyone could point to and say, we should have known. There's a specific kind of unease that comes from watching someone describe an atrocity without the emotional register we expect to accompany it. We're used to confessions that come with tears, with collapse, with some visible reckoning between the person and the act they committed. Kevin offered almost none of that. He answered questions the way someone might describe a shift at work, sequentially, calmly, occasionally correcting a detail for accuracy. That flatness is, in its own way, more disturbing than rage would have been. Rage, at least, looks like something breaking. This looked like nothing breaking at all because, according to his own account, nothing needed to. The capacity for what he did had apparently been sitting quietly inside him the entire time, waiting. Kevin Davis was charged with first-degree murder. In June of 2014, he pleaded not guilty. But by October, when the trial began in earnest, his plea changed. He admitted to the killing. Prosecutors played the confession tape for the jury. They heard, in Kevin's own voice, an account that left no room for ambiguity about what had happened or who had done it. A psychological evaluation presented during the trial offered one clarifying detail. Kevin was diagnosed with a personality disorder, but he was legally sane. He understood at every step the difference between right and wrong. That finding closed off any possibility of an insanity defense. It also meant the jury had to reckon with something more uncomfortable than madness. The knowledge that a clear mind had chosen this. Deliberation took less than an hour. The jury returned the maximum sentence available under the charge life in prison. Because Kevin had been charged with murder rather than capital murder, the death penalty was never on the table. In the courtroom, Kimberly Hill's father addressed his grandson directly, telling him he had broken an unwritten law by killing his own mother. Kevin's sister spoke as well, telling him that he had destroyed the one person who had always stood by him, and that now he was alone. There's something particularly painful about a victim impact statement delivered by family to family. In most trials, the person addressing the defendant is a stranger to them, someone connected only by the crime itself. Here, every word spoken in that courtroom came from people who had shared a home with Kevin, who had celebrated birthdays with him, who had known him not as a case number but as a son, a grandson, a brother. Their grief wasn't abstract. It was layered with a version of betrayal that only family can inflict on family, the particular ache of losing someone to violence, and losing the person who committed it in the very same moment. The diagnosis presented at trial, antisocial personality disorder, is often misunderstood by people outside clinical psychology. It doesn't mean someone is incapable of understanding consequences, or that they exist in some altered state divorced from reality. In Kevin's case, it meant almost the opposite. He understood exactly what he was doing, both in the moment and in the interrogation room afterward. The disorder didn't erase his judgment. It described a pattern of disregard for rules, for the impact of his actions on others, for the basic emotional responses most people can't help but feel in the presence of violence. What makes cases like this so unsettling for true crime audiences isn't the diagnosis itself, but what it implies about detection. We've built an entire genre around the idea that dangerous people leave traces, a criminal record, an escalation of small cruelties, a moment where someone almost said something. Kevin Davis had none of that visible trail. His family didn't miss the signs. By all available accounts, there simply weren't signs to miss, at least not ones legible from the outside. That's an uncomfortable thing to build a documentary around, because it denies the audience the reassurance most true crime stories quietly offer. That this could have been prevented, if only someone had been paying closer attention. Sometimes that's true. In this case, the evidence suggests otherwise, and sitting with that discomfort, rather than resolving it, is part of what this story asks of us. Kevin Davis is currently serving his life sentence at a Texas facility designed for inmates with significant mental health needs. He will not be eligible for parole until the year 2044, but the sentence, however necessary, doesn't answer the question this case leaves behind. How does a young man with no documented history of violence carry, in private, thoughts capable of producing this level of brutality, without a single person around him ever seeing it coming? There's a temptation in true crime storytelling to reverse engineer warning signs after the fact, to comb through a person's past and insist the clues were there all along, if only someone had looked closely enough. But Kevin Davis resists that narrative. The people who knew him, his family, his neighbors, describe someone who gave them nothing to go on. Not because they weren't paying attention, because there was, by every visible measure, nothing to see. That's the part of this story that lingers longest. Not the violence itself, but the total absence of warning that preceded it. It's a reminder that the line between the ordinary and the unthinkable isn't always marked. Sometimes it's crossed in complete silence, inside a mind no one else was ever allowed to see. Kimberly Hill spent her life caring for people in their final moments, offering comfort to strangers when it mattered most. It's a detail that deserves to be remembered alongside the darker parts of this case, because her story shouldn't be reduced only to the way it ended. If this case left you with more questions than answers, that's not an accident. Some stories don't resolve into something clean. That's part of why we tell them. If you're new here, subscribe, because every week we go looking for the human story behind the headline. And once again, Let us know in the comments where in the world you're watching from tonight. We'll see you in the next one.